Oh, depression. That hovering dark cloud that sucks the beauty out of life. Guilty thoughts, loss of interest in life, troubles sleeping, racing thoughts, closing off from the outer world. Nothing sounds more daunting. Depression is known for its mental destructiveness. However, who knew dealing with depression can actually pose a health risk? Just when we thought it couldn't get any more dreadful. Welcome back, Psychos. Today we'll be talking about the 10 health risks related to untreated depression. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, as well as click the notification bell so that you never miss a video. Let's get right into it, starting with health risk number 1, substance abuse. With depression comes misery, and this misery can be the driving force behind a lot of substance abuse happening in our world today. The most common substances being the easiest accessible, alcohol and tobacco. The thing with substance abuse is that these substances obviously pose a risk of their own after prolonged use. The main reason people turn to substances during hard times is that they numb certain active parts of our brain that contribute to the depression, resulting in alleviation of symptoms. According to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, approximately 20% of those with anxiety or mood disorders, such as depression, experience alcohol or substance abuse at some point. And even if these people get help from their substance abuse, the underlying depression is enough to increase the chances of relapse after addiction treatment. In fact, the most successful cases of addiction treatment with minimal risk for relapse is when both the substance abuse and the depression is treated. Number 2, heart disease. The connection between depression and heart disease has been well known by doctors for quite some time. Mental health disorders like depression and anxiety have considerable effect on heart rhythms. In fact, people struggle with underlying mental health conditions as such usually have an increase in blood pressure, elevated insulin and cholesterol, and a raised level of stress hormones. In fact, the Journal of Circulation released a study showing that people who experience heart failure while being moderately or severely depressed showed 4 times the risk for early death and double the risk for needing hospitalization in comparison to those who don't show signs of depression. This connection can go both ways. Although depression can put someone at risk for coronary heart disease can also put someone at risk for depression. Number 3, diabetes. Although researchers don't fully understand the link between diabetes and depression, there is no doubt that the connection is there. In fact, depression is known to be associated with a significantly increased risk for diabetes. At this point in research, scientists and psychologists have found that the relation between the two could possibly be blamed on the fact that people with depression often have difficulty adopting a healthy lifestyle. Therefore, their poor lifestyle habits, including the lack of exercise and poor food choices, lead directly to diabetes, high cholesterol levels, and inflammation. The diagnosis and maintenance of diabetes can also be very stressful, alternatively leading to an additional depressive symptom as well. Diabetes often requires a change in lifestyle habits and an intake in new medication, which can lead to a lower quality of life if the person isn't willing to work with it. Number 4, obesity. In addition to diabetes, obesity can be a risk factor for similar reasons for people dealing with untreated depression. Dealing with depression can make it considerably more difficult to find the motivation to maintain healthy lifestyle habits and personal hygiene. Exercise and maintaining a healthy diet requires perseverance and motivation, 2 things that are blocked by the overwhelming sense of depressive symptoms from people with depression. The mindset of people with depression has been taken over by the temporary disorder. This cognizant haze makes it much more difficult to see long-term health benefits of adopting healthy behaviours like upping exercise and cutting out the sweets. For people with depression, every day is a battle of coping with depressive thoughts while trying to maintain a normal life. So it's no surprise that it would feel much easier to indulge in comfort foods and avoid stepping out of their comfort zones. Number 5. Osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a condition of low bone density, which can be difficult to detect until it becomes a problem. According to a research study by Harvard University, people who suffer from depression, on average, have a substantially lower bone density than non-depressed people. The reason for this correlation is still to be further researched. However, they have found that depression is associated with elevated activity in osteoclasts, which are the cells that break down bone as we age. Not only that, but depression also triggers the release of noradrenaline, which causes an interference in bone-building cells. Older people and younger women with depression run a higher risk of developing osteoporosis. Researchers have found that long-term use of antidepressants may also add to low bone density. And going back to the importance of exercise, regular daily activity can boost bone health and help alleviate the loss of bone minerals associated with depression. Number 6. Chronic pain. Pain and depression can cause a vicious cycle, in which pain worsens symptoms of depression and depression then worsens symptoms of pain. Which sounds absolutely dreadful and undeserving for anyone. Pain is interesting. It doesn't really happen in the area that it's hurting. It all happens in the brain. Pain is just nerve signals being sent from the brain to the area of the body that is hurting. So, considering depression is a mental condition or a mood disorder, it can show surprising physical symptoms like bloating, backaches, and joint pain. Some top yogis, and in fact, according to the US National Library of Medicine, there is considerable compelling evidence that links depression to fibromyalgia, a condition that causes pain all over the body. These two conditions are considered to co-occur, meaning people with depression show signs of fibromyalgia and vice versa. Some neurologists actually believe that depression and fibromyalgia are just co-occurring symptoms of an unknown underlying condition. Number 7. IBS. The gut and brain connection has been researched for decades, resulting in the gut being referred to as our second brain. Butterflies in your stomach on a first date, that's a physical symptom, aka the feeling of butterflies, of a physiological process, aka nervous excitement. So it's not overly taboo for depression and irritable bowel syndrome to go hand in hand. People who deal with depression often report IBS symptoms such as stomach and digestion issues, a loss of appetite, severe bloating, nausea, constipation, and diarrhea, which, let's be real, is enough to cause symptoms of depression in anyone after dealing with these symptoms for long enough. This is all related to the fact that depression changes the brain's response to stress by interfering with the activity in the hippocampus, pituitary glands, and adrenal glands, which are all responsible for helping us absorb and digest food in the stomach. In other words, when these glands and organs are interrupted from their normal function, it can cause considerable discomfort and other significant orders, aka IBS. Number 8. Autoimmune disorder. Eczema, celiac disease, multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, and the list goes on and on. Autoimmune disorders are so common in North America, yet researchers have little knowledge pertaining to how they come about and how to get rid of them. One thing we know for sure is that all autoimmune disorders are related to inflammation and stress, which are two common denominators that also relate to depression. Inflammation in the body disrupts every biological symptom, including our immune system, which increases the risk of developing an autoimmune disorder. Mood disorders like depression exhibit all signs for an inflammatory response of the body, just like autoimmune disorders. Because of the considerable relation between the two conditions, depression and autoimmune disorders are beginning to share the same treatment protocols. Number 9. Migraines. Migraines are just flat out miserable. Depending on how severe and how often they occur, they surely have an impact on the quality of life of the sufferer. According to the International Review of Psychiatry, people who leave their depression untreated have an increased risk of going from having less than 15 migraines per month, have an increased risk of having less than 15 migraines a year, to over 15 migraines a month. Alternatively, patients who experience migraines often are 2 to 4 times more likely to develop major depressive disorder. They go hand in hand with another issue due to similar pathophysical and genetic mechanisms. Because of the relation between low serotonin levels and these two conditions, some researchers claim that the link between migraines and depression lies within a person's brain's inability to produce serotonin and other neurotransmitters. Once again, substance abuse and a lack of proper sleep and poor lifestyle choices can all increase the risk of getting migraines as well. Number 10. Cognitive decline. Lastly, and probably most commonly related to prolonged depression, is cognitive decline. When depression is left untreated, it literally changes the composition of your brain. Similar to other mental health degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, researchers believe depression can be considered similarly degenerative and progressive if not treated. As a matter of fact, a study released by the Psychiatric and Behavioural Health Learning Network released a study showing that 25 people that all had struggled with depression for more than a decade showed 30% higher inflammation in certain areas of the brain compared to the 30 people that didn't have depression. These areas of the brain were included in the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for reasoning, concentration, and other crucial functions. If you are dealing with depression, take these related health risks as motivation to get help rather than another thing to worry about. Balancing your physical, mental, and emotional health all go hand in hand and are crucial for living a long, happy, and healthy life, which you do deserve. That's it for today's video, Psychos. What are some of the tactics you use to curb the symptoms of depression? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more psycho videos. We do hope you learned something, and we'll see you in the next video.